Hi, my name is Representative Ephraim Elliott, and you've just been placed on alert. Welcome to the Elliott Alert. My guest today is Mrs. Teresa Morgan. Oh, I'm sorry, what is your...
Teresa Farver.
Teresa Farver. Yeah, I know her as Teresa Morgan because we used to go to church together a long time ago, but I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great, great. Now, you represent an organization. It's called The Call.
Right.
Is that correct? And
Yes.
I do know that at one point you were the director, and now you're a very active board member. Is
Yes,
that correct? Can you tell me what is The Call? And that's CALL?
CALL. The Call is a nonprofit organization which stands for Children of Arkansas Love for a Lifetime.
Okay. Children of Arkansas Love for a Lifetime. Now, that's great, love for a lifetime, because there are a whole bunch of kids that I know they may be loved for a little bit, but
Not for a lifetime.
not for a lifetime. So your organization makes sure that they're loved for a lifetime.
Yes, sir. We're trying. We're trying.
And now tell me a little bit about the organization. But first of all, can you kind of tell me the history of The Call and when you started as director, and how long you've been there and stuff?
Definitely. I've been a foster parent for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
I became director a year ago. Due to marriage and things, decided to take a back seat.
Okay.
But The Call was established in 2007
Okay.
by citizens in Pulaski County who wanted to make a difference.
Okay. So it actually evolved or started in Pulaski County.
Right.
And then some people came down and said that would be a great program for Jefferson County.
We started it here a year ago.
A year ago? Okay. Now, when you started a year ago, how hard was it?
Honestly, like pulling teeth, it was. It was.
You mean to tell me something that would be beneficial to the children and help our county move forward was hard?
Yes. Unfortunately, when people see you coming and they hear foster children, they have a negative persona about it. Their preconceived notions are like, no, we don't want to do that. But it's a wide variety of things that you can do with The Call. We do want to get people to open their homes to become foster parents, but there are a lot of volunteer opportunities. So we are getting people to partnership now, but it took a while to get it started.
So now, when you mentioned foster children, so now are the foster children the basis of it?
Yes, our goal, we work in collaboration with DHS to assist them in placing foster children in homes. Arkansas has over 7,000 children in foster care in a given year.
Wait a minute.
11.
You said 7,000
7
children in
1,000
foster care
over the state of Arkansas alone, with only 1,100 homes available.
Now, can you kind of explain that? Because I know you work with DHS. How can we have all these foster children in the system and such a small amount of houses that these kids can actually be in to help them? Because I know that there's a need in Jefferson County.
Yes.
So do we have a pretty large amount of houses in Jefferson County to house our own kids?
Unfortunately, we don't. There are currently now 200, at least 200. The last number I received was 200 children in foster care in our county. In Jefferson County, we have 40 homes available for those children.
So do you think the problem is that people may not know how to do it, how to become a foster parent? Or do you think that people just don't want to open their homes up?
I think it's a combination of lack of knowledge of what to do. Some people don't know the need. If they've never heard that, wow, somebody needs a home, then they don't know.
Right.
Okay, I can open my home. So it may be the process. I also think it's negative preconceived notions about DHS. A lot of times when you hear DHS, you know somebody who's had a negative experience, or maybe you've had a negative experience. Right. So we work with them. So when people hear that, it's like, ooh.
But in actuality, whomever helped with this would be providing a service, and
Yes, sir.
and there also is maybe I don't know how to say it, but maybe there's some way that DHS can help with the finances to help with the children and stuff like that. So it's not like they'll just say, "Can you open your home up and then bring these kids and you got to feed them, clothe them, and do all this stuff?"
Oh, no, not at all. There is a small stipend that you get. There is daycare assistance that's provided with other services. And what our mission is to educate, to equip and encourage Christian families to provide a hope in the future for these children. Because if you can imagine 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody pulling you out of your bed.
Wow.
Most of these kids, their clothes are in a milk crate or a trash bag when they go to their foster families. So the fear, the anxiety of where am I going? How long will I be there? Will I see my mom? Will I go back home to my bed, my clothes, So we're praying that Christian families will begin to say, okay, we're based off the mandate that God gave the church in James 1:27. And that scripture says that pure and undefiled religion is this, to care for the widows and the orphans in their distress. So we're hoping that we get some people to, like you said, open their doors, because these children do come in the system because of substance abuse or neglect, but it may be that mom just ran a light and she came from a Christmas party at work and she had a beverage. So the police aren't going to ask her, where have you been? Where have you? They're going to automatically take the kids and put them in foster care. So reality is, it could be any of us. Wouldn't you want your children in a Christian home?
I would. Now, do you actually have to be a Christian? I mean,
not at all.
I know I'm a Christian, but I mean,
we need people with loving hearts. But the call is a faith-based organization. So when you go through our training, we have counselors that are also pastors or ministers that will, because it's a process getting new kids that you have not birthed in your home. So
it's a
we
process
don't
even dealing with the kids that you have.
that are you are right. But we don't just train you and leave you to the wolves. We have foster parent association where you can come and say, okay, I have this issue, what did you do? We also, most of our board members are foster and respite care parents.
Wow.
So we have personal experiences that we give through training. So we're a family. So we don't just train people and then say, have at it. We walk you through the process.
And see, that having that support of knowing that somebody else may have been through similar events, I mean, that's powerful within itself. Because I mean, you never know what may happen, and if it does happen, to be able to lean on somebody to say, okay, what did you do in this situation? That's major.
It makes a difference when you have support.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to talk a little bit more about the call, and when we come back from break, I want to talk to you about how did you make the transition from director to board.
Okay.
We'll be back in a minute.
When you earn your GED diploma, the barriers in your life fall. Take the first step and get free GED information in your area at 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or yourged.org. Earn your GED diploma and begin your brighter future.
When it's time for lunch, a sandwich is a quick and easy choice. And with the right ingredients, it can be good and good for you. So I'm here today to see who can build the ultimate sandwich. All right, when the time is up, our judges will give you their scores. Ready, set, go! Okay, Jason starts out with a multi-grain roll. Ooh, Allison stuffing her pita with, yes, spinach, a great source of iron. Jason isn't skipping on the protein, adding plenty of smoked turkey, just like Allison's putting the finishing touches with crispy red bell peppers for a dose of vitamin A. Time! looks like we have a tie. We'll need to call in our special guest referee.
Now, these are what I call quick, delicious lunches. Whole grain breads, a whole variety of ingredients. There are so many different ways to build delicious, healthy sandwiches. These two get high marks in every category. I'd say you're both winners. America.
Let's get healthy together.
Welcome back to the Elliott Alert. I have today my guest, Miss Teresa Morgan-Farver.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure I got that in, so when her husband see it, he knows that I made sure we corrected that information. And I want to say, first of all, congratulations on being a newlywed.
Thank you.
And you know, she didn't want me to tell, but she's also a new mom as well. She's pregnant, and I'm just letting you know this is a wonderful person. I've been knowing her for years, and God has truly blessed her. So I'm just glad to have you here, and
thank you.
And for you to talk about the call, because I think that that's a outstanding organization. We have so many children in Jefferson County, and the need is so high to have good, decent foster parents, Christian or Muslim or, you know, but what you guys are doing is needed in the community.
Definitely.
And I want to know, let's say if a person is interested in being a foster parent, or they just became a foster parent, how do you guys kind of connect with those people? Because if I say, okay, you know, I want to be a foster parent, and they send me through the training program, and I say, well, I done got into something I don't know. I just don't know what to do. How do I get in contact with you? I mean, how do you know that I'm in need of your services, or anybody know that I'm in need of your services to get what you guys have?
Well, every foster parent is assigned a caseworker from DHS.
Okay.
We work side by side with them. So your caseworker will say, we have what's called a call mall in Whitehall, where your caseworker will give you a number. You will call us. You'll take that number that your caseworker gave. We have a mall that's full of clothes.
Wow.
So instead of, if you get a baby at 5 o'clock in the morning, that does happen. I've gotten a baby at 3 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And you're like, okay, I have clothes for a 5-year-old, but this is a 6-month-old. The call mall is established that you can come and walk around and get clothes for free for that child.
Wow.
So we have partners in prayer. Well, we're always praying for DHS workers, and we make phone calls. Hi, how are you? Is there anything that you need? We just want you to know that we're praying for you, that we're here. And we try to bridge the gap, because reality is DHS is overstaffed and overworked. So if you can't get your caseworker, you'll be assigned somebody in the call that you can say, okay, I've been calling, can you try to let them know that? So we do work in collaboration with DHS, and we make sure that call families, if you go through our training, you have our numbers, you have our contact. So we stay connected.
Okay. So as a new foster parent, or even an old foster parent, and I don't know about the program, and I say, okay, I need to contact my caseworker. Once my caseworker gets the information, they can say, okay, this program to call, you probably need to contact the person over there, and once you contact them, you have additional support that you can utilize, because foster parents, sometimes kids leave, they most, definitely leave, and then different ones come in. And you're right, if a kid comes in at 3 or 4 in the morning and he's 6 months, or he's a teenager, and you have 5-year-old clothes, what is that child gonna do? And to be able to walk around a mall to actually get decent clothes for children so that they can go to school. Because these kids, once they're dropped off at 5 or something like that, probably the next day or the day after that, they have to go to school.
That's right. That's right.
And man, that's something. Not only is it, a little, I guess, I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's a shock to children to be uplifted from their houses and put into somebody else's house that you don't know. But not to have that kind of support is a shock within themselves.
Yeah.
So for them to be able to get decent clothes, to get a decent meal and have somebody in their support saying that they're praying for them and that they're gonna be there if they need them, that's major.
I agree. It's important for the transition to be smooth because it's not the child's fault that they're in foster care. So our hope is that they would get in a home that treats them just like they're their child. If your child goes to basketball or football practice, we encourage you to put your foster child in a sport as well. If you are going on vacation, as long as you let your caseworker know that you'd like to take the foster child as well, provisions can be made for you to do that.
Wow.
So we try to make sure that their life is as smooth as possible. And the number one goal is for them to be reunified with their families.
Right. And I agree in reference to your reunification, but in the midst of that, as a child, you have to have some form of stability.
Right.
So just having as many people around you saying, okay, this may be temporary, but we want to make it as smooth and as supportive as possible. I mean, you can't beat that. And other people should get involved as well to open up more homes here in Jefferson County, because like you said, maybe 200 kids.
Over 200. We got a list of 200. We're doing a Christmas project trying to get all the foster children in Jefferson County gifts. So we have a list of 200 names, but we have not received all of them. So, and only 40 homes. Now what happens if the child is pulled from Jefferson County and there's no home? They're shipped somewhere else, maybe in West Memphis, maybe Little Rock, maybe Gould, maybe. So when it's time for them to have visitation with their parents, the caseworker has to drive miles to get them to come back. If I went to school at Watson Chapel or Whitehall, but there's no home for me in Jefferson County, I have to start a brand new school because I have to be placed in a DHS home somewhere.
So if I'm in Jefferson County, let's say I go to Dollaway, and something traumatic happens in my family to which I have to be uplifted, that means they can take me to like West Memphis.
Yes, sir.
And drop me off to a house in West Memphis and say, okay, this is where you're going to be going to school. There's a couple issues I have with it. First of all, children handle stress and issues like children handle them.
That's right.
They're not mature enough to know that. But then when they're uplifted and taken somewhere else to another house, and I'm sure those foster parents are going to treat them the way that they should. I'm sure of that. But that's just very traumatic in itself. And does the call help with that transition? And if so, how? How do you guys?
Our vision is that there will be no child left waiting, that there will only be homes left to embrace them. There are after school cares that we are involved in. There are programs that we continuously try to do to make sure that the child is comfortable.
Right.
But reality is, if I'm in a new school, a new environment, a totally different culture, because Pine Bluff is small.
Right.
So if you send me somewhere where it's lights and it's, I'm on the inside of me, a lot is going on. So the only thing that can help that is to be in a home that's loving, regardless if you say, Christian, Buddha, Muslim, but we want families that love children.
Okay. Well, we have to go on a break, and when we come back, we're going to end this, and we'll talk about how people can work or people can get your information to get that support. We'll be right back.
Same time next week?
Well, of course.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to the Elliott Alert. My guest today is Miss Teresa Morgan-Farver, the board member of the CALL program. It's the CALL.
The call.
The CALL. Okay, yeah. And when we left, we were talking about how I guess the process works and how can people participate or how can they work with CALL. But one of the things that I wanted to ask is, I know it's a nonprofit organization.
Right.
How do you guys get funding? I mean, do you guys just do all of this by faith, or I mean?
Definitely number one by
most
faith.
definitely.
But our contributors are private contributors, personal donors. We really try to rely on churches a lot. Let's see, corporations and businesses like Walmart will give you a donation or something, but that's basically it. We are expecting the community to support us.
Now, you guys don't get any assistance from the state or anything?
No, sir, not at all.
Wow.
We are looking for grants, but currently we don't.
Well, I really think that you probably need to speak to some of your legislators to get some resources to that kind of program, because what happens to our children that are here in Jefferson County, that unfortunate things happen, what happens if there are no homes here to embrace them? I mean, what's going to happen to our children?
Then the community takes care of them. Unfortunately, reality is if you don't have a good support system, then you fall back into maybe the streets.
Wow.
Maybe you drop out of school. Maybe you commit a crime and end up in jail. So what will happen is society will begin to care for them. Tax increases.
More jails.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And a large percentage of foster children age out of the system, which means they don't have a home. So when they get 18, they've gone all those years without a support. Most of them do end up in jail or on their own.
So with CALL, that's one of the ways that we can interject some positive things and support to help them so that they won't go through that, or that they won't fall down that specific road. And to do that, the community has to support programs like CALL.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
So now, with us supporting, how would a person, like, let's say I see this and I say, well, man, that's a great program. I want to participate in it. I either want to be a foster parent and I most definitely want you guys' services, or I want to send a donation or something like that. I mean, how does a person do that?
You can call us at 870-692-2722, or you can go to the website www.thecallinarkansas.org. You click on Jefferson County. That'll tell you all of the things that we're doing, who you can contact, how you can get involved, and we'd love to have your help.
So with all that information, there's no reason why someone who is interested in helping you guys shouldn't be able to contact you guys.
Right.
And that's even, let's say, even if a foster parent who may, for some reason, haven't heard of your program and they see this, they can say, well, man, I never utilized that service. Let me, take this information and call them guys.
We're hoping so. We would greatly appreciate it if you'd answer the call. And there's so much to do. If you don't want to be a foster parent or an adoptive parent or a respite parent, which is maybe 72 hours, we'd love for you to volunteer. So please give us a call.
Now, for college students or people who just want to do some form of community service, can they do some form of community service with the call?
Yes, sir, definitely. Actually, our next opportunity is December 8th. We'll be in Whitehall doing Breakfast with the Santa. So it'll be $8 per child. All of that funding is going to go towards the call. We'd love for volunteers to assist us with that.
Okay. Now, how many volunteers do you need, or is there an age limit on volunteers? Can high school students, maybe a high school student or organization, see this and they say, okay, my organization can help with that, or maybe some of the college fraternities or something like that?
The more the merrier. We're not going to turn down any help.
Okay.
So yes, sir. There's no age on it. Anybody can come and volunteer.
Now, you said you guys are December 8th. You're going to do breakfast with the Santa.
Right. Right.
Okay. Now, for a big guy like myself, is that all you can eat?
For the children, it's all you can eat.
Well, you just said $8. I was gonna bring $8, and me and Pookie and the rest of them.
Let me correct that. All you can eat for the children. We will limit grown people like Ephraim
Okay.
who will take advantage of it.
I'm just saying. You said $8 for breakfast. All right, look. I didn't get this big by looking at it. But most definitely, people who want to volunteer can come and use the number that you said or the website.
Yes, sir.
Can you give it to us again?
The phone number is 870-692-2722. The website is www.thecallinarkansas.org.
Okay. So those people who are interested in helping with that, they can utilize, I guess, your nonprofit by volunteering, and it being for a great cause.
Yes.
Because if we don't support our kids in our own community, how can we expect anybody else to take care of them? And with organizations like The Call and our loving Christian brothers and sisters who are embracing parents who, as foster parents, may not be used to being foster parents.
Right, or parents at all.
And all of us parents need prayer.
I know that's right.
Most definitely. So again, Miss Farber Morgan, or Morgan-Farver, you notice husband, I said that incorrectly. I want to thank you for coming on the Elliott Alert, and I want to let you know you have just been placed on alert.
Thank you.